Ashley, good morning. How are you this morning? I am. I just grabbed my coffee from McDonald's here. We're about to get walking in a minute. See the Hard Rock across the street here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Nice. We have a couple viewers that listen during the day when we're on during the day while they're at work. We'll take a walk down and try to see what we can see of the Hard Rock this morning. Got other zoom in there for you. A lot of work going on over there. There we go. Abby, what's going on? Early morning, so yep. A couple people working in there this morning. We can already see. It's a bit chilly out on the strip this morning too. Don't even know what the temperature is, but I know it's cold enough. So see about them. Where you guys want to walk this morning? So nice and quiet on the strip in the morning. So my son had training this morning. He had to go into work. He had to be in at 6:30. So he dropped me off up the street at the Fashion Show Mall. And I walked down here, grabbed some coffee, got everything situated on the live. Tattoo, good morning. How you doing, buddy? I'm not even sure what time he's working till. So I'm probably going to take a bus or an Uber home today. I thought he had to be in at like 7:30. So I was like, oh, I'll just drive in. What time are we leaving? He's like 5:30. I'm like, oh, okay. In bed by 9. That's a little early. When we used to come out here, I would like sleep during the day a lot because it's hotter during the day, and then just basically hang out. I like to gamble at like 3 in the morning when it's like pretty empty. Then I'd go up to the room around 6, take a little nap, and then go get coffee and everything. While Jay would get the kids ready to go to the pool for the day. go out, get them breakfast. Hate when the sidewalks are wet. I feel like the sidewalks in Vegas, when they're wet, are very, very slippery. So this is like the perfect time. I think we're going to head over to Bellagio and check out the conservatory. Because this time in the morning, the conservatory, with the sun coming up, looks really nice. And with like basically no crowds are going to be in there. We'll probably have the conservatory basically to ourselves this morning. So that's always a nice thing. Sky looks pretty nice up above. Well, up in front of us. Of course, the sky's above us. I'm still waking up. I had my first cup of coffee, some McCafe. They need to bring back the 24-hour coffee shops in every casino. The only like one or two that I know. Oh, Dunkin' Donuts is open too. I forgot that Dunkin' Donuts is open. But they're a bit pricey, Dunkin' Donuts right there. Their coffees are like $7-8. McDonald's are $2.69, I think, for a large. Let's cross here. So, yeah, we were out last night, me and Jay. We went, I did a nice walk last night. Americani, what's going on? Let's walk down this way. Murakami, we're going to head over to the Bellagio first thing. Check out the Bellagio at 6:30 in the morning when there's no crowds. Show you guys I'm not lying to you when I tell you this. Get there before 8-9 o'clock and you got the place to yourself pretty much. Plus, it'll get us inside and warmed up a little bit. It is pretty cold out this morning. It's got to still be in the 40s. Just have a light jacket and a sweatshirt. Because I figure I'll be out and walk in and I'll get overheated later on. So we'll try to figure out where else we're gonna go this morning. We could, yeah, I know, right? So, hey, good morning, Bill. How you doing? So yeah, so my son had, that was the conversation that me and Jay were bickering at the end of the live stream last night. Because I said I was gonna come up here with my son because he had training and I didn't know what time he was going to have training. He didn't tell me. He just said he had training. And I assumed it was going to be like 7:30. Instead, we left the house at 5:30 because he had to be in training at, I think, 6:30. One of his buddies, he drove him home from work the other day. He left his badge in my son's car. So my son had to go drop his badge off and meet him in the morning at fashion show so he could get in to work. So I've been up here since about 6 o'clock, and walked down and grabbed some coffee. Welcome in, guys. Whoever's coming in, good morning. Welcome in. Hit that subscribe button, become a chatter. That is the name of our community here, the chatters. And this is way too loud right here. We're going to try to hit this. All right, so I'm trying to. Jason, no problem, man. Thank you for joining. I need to have coffee within like the first hour of me waking up, or else I'm unfunctional during the day. So it's just me and some pigeons. Excuse me, buddy. Yeah, I figured you would have already had one of your cinnamon sugar mocha lattes rolling. That's actually sounds pretty good today. Let me check something real quick. Give you guys a nice little view of Caesars here while I check something out. All right, there we go. I think we're good. Alan, good morning. How you doing? This guy's riding around on the concrete Zamboni. So this time in the morning, you guys aren't familiar with early mornings in Vegas. A lot of people aren't. Really, the only people you see out here super early in the morning are people who stayed out a little later than they should, which we just saw on the bridge. People who are headed to conventions, and joggers, and some homeless. Jay, good morning. So it's pretty quiet out here. This is when they clean the sidewalks too. So we'll see a lot of wet sidewalks in the morning. You gotta be careful too, man, because I slipped on these a few times. They're mostly doing power washing. There's a guy over here. Let's turn around. He's doing the Zamboni, the concrete Zamboni. There we go. He drives around and washes the sidewalk. Pretty cool job. Pretty cool job. There's one of the joggers. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm on vacation, I'm definitely not jogging. Well, I'm definitely not jogging ever, but especially if I'm on vacation. That's some dedication to being healthy right there. But we'll see a lot of joggers. Jay, that's exactly where we're headed right now. We're headed to the conservatory right now. So we're gonna eat up some of the heat in here. Here's another one. We're gonna eat up some of the heat. I'm a little bit chilly. I don't know what the temperature is. It was like 40 something when I woke up, so it still feels like it. And I'm just not, I'm not a cold weather person. These cold early mornings in the winter in Vegas where it's in the 40s are just like brutal for me. So we're gonna stay inside where it's a little bit warmer. I know some of you guys are probably up in I know we have some people in South Dakota, North Dakota, Wisconsin, where the temperatures always are in the 30s below. Murakami's telling me what it's going to be a high of -5 and a low of -8 on Friday in Illinois. Absurdly big, what's going on? Billy, 24 in Tennessee. Ooh. I didn't realize it got that cold in Tennessee. I always think of Tennessee, like a lot of them states, like Tennessee, North Carolina, like as being a lot warmer than they actually are for some reason. I don't know why. It's just like kind of, yeah, sub-zero temps in Chicago on Friday. I could not live in Chicago. I watch a couple streamers that walk around Chicago, and it's a beautiful city. I love it. Watching the live streams, I drove through there. I've never really visited, but I definitely want to check Chicago out one time. But that's going to have to definitely be a summer trip. I was watching, a couple of the Bears football games, especially the playoff games, and I'm like, that just looks way too cold. Forget it. So here we are in the Bellagio in the morning, nice and quiet. Not too many people out. Now, if we come through here later on today, this afternoon, tonight, which I don't think me and Jay will be on tonight. I think I have a lot of stuff to do around the house. So when I get home this afternoon, I got a lot of stuff I want to get done. So I think we'll skip the nighttime live tonight. But if you come through here at night, it is like packed. So yeah, I do think of mountains when I hear Tennessee. Who we got there? We got Mary in the house with 22 in Youngstown, Ohio. Cold. Did I miss anybody? Italy, Chicago. Yeah. Oh, did you see Spin? It's been someone I know me and Murakami both follow on TikTok. He was at Italy in Silicon Valley the other day, and it's like a 3-story Italy. It's huge. He was like sending me pictures, like, "Oh, check this out." I'm like, man, I was so jealous of all the different great restaurants and coffee spots they had. They had a Hello Kitty in there. Yeah, I was jealous. He was texting me. I miss running into Spin on the strip, actually. He was fun to hang out with. So if you guys are on, any of you that are on TikTok, also, follow us over there on TikTok and give Murakami a follow too. But follow Spin. It's Spin with an exclamation point on TikTok. He lives up in this, like, the Bay Area, San Francisco now, and he does a lot of really cool, live streams, different spots he goes. So yeah, he'll be back in Vegas eventually to just visit. But he's a good dude, really good streamer, fun to watch. All right, so we are going to be going into the conservatory. They are out around the fountain right now. Around this outside fountain here. This is the fountain that you should be throwing your coins in. Uh-oh. You see these guys, this is what they do. They come in here all the time and swap them out. If the flowers aren't looking good, they swap them out. Oh, they're doing some major maintenance in here today. There we go. Doing some major maintenance. Can't get down this aisle, so we'll have to go around. I don't know. I think this looks really nice in this lighting. You guys have seen this at night and during the middle of the day. I think that this display looks the best under morning light or like twilight when the sun is going down. I think it just makes everything pop so much better. Look at that. Say good morning to the koi fish. If you guys are enjoying this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join our community here, the Neon City Chatters. You guys talk and we do the walk. Let's see here. Step into a tradition as old as time. In China, the ritual of sharing tea transforms strangers into friends and moments into memories. Here at our enchanting tea pavilion, you and your guests can savor this timeless custom while enjoying lunch or dinner from Noodles. So it has a little QR code to scan over, and that is the tea pavilion. That is where you can have your lunch or your dinner. That's the garden table. Oh, look, check it out. We're going to watch them feed them. Some salt or something, they're saying. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Like protective family elders, two majestic gold dragons watch over the playful pandas and jovial children. Their presence both commanding and benevolent. In Chinese tradition, dragons are supreme beings who command earthy elements, bringing good fortune to those around them. These legendary guardians weave wisdom and strength through the scene, showing us where boldness meets balance and fierce protection nurtures gentle joy. Oh, you know what we got to do? So you guys know Grammy. Grammy is on here all the time. So I met Grammy last night before we started streaming, and she got me something, and I'm actually wearing it right now. So give me a second here. I'm going to put you guys down for a second and take my jacket off so you guys can check this out. This is like one of the coolest gifts that I have ever gotten. All right, let me flip this around. So Grammy got me this Year of the Horse. Hello Kitty. Happy Lunar New Year. How cool is that shirt? So that is a really cool shirt. Thank you, Grammy. I don't think Grammy's on here right now. Hopefully we can run into Grammy later this morning. Yeah, that's a pretty awesome shirt. So the three golden horses, grounded in strength and driven by purpose, radiate with a fiery spirit, boundless energy that symbolize the year's unstoppable momentum. Let their shimmer shine, a wondrous light upon the months ahead. They're doing a lot of work over here, changing out a lot of flowers. Can't get down this row. I guess that's the one thing about coming here in the morning is sometimes they do have a section shut down so they can do maintenance. Because all these flowers are real. So as soon as they look like they may be in distress or dying or something, they swap them out and put new ones in to keep the conservatory looking really nice. Nice. You have your coffee. What kind of coffee you got this morning, Murakami? Hmm?
That's what live looks like
Yeah, on YouTube.
on YouTube.
Hmm.
What are you doing?
Hmm?
What are you doing?
Just walk around and just show Vegas in the morning.
People are into that.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How do I start this one step?
You go on YouTube, we're NeonCityWalkers, and you just follow us. So yeah, people. That's the chat that people are talking, and we just.
What's so cool?
A little bit, not much. Sometimes. Yeah, check it out. Check it out. Yep. Here, let me show you. I think I have one sticker left. So here, take that.
It's a sticker?
Yeah, that's a sticker. Yeah, that's a sticker, and then look us up on what
is it?
it's
NeonCityWalkers.
Yeah, and then you'll find us there, and then on TikTok and YouTube.
This is net.
Yeah.
But I like that.
Oh yeah, that's one of our fans bought it for me. Have a good night. Yeah, that was a nice little interaction. I like when people come up and they're like, "Oh, are you like live? What do you That's kind of cool." Mocha coffee from PA. What's it got, like Hershey's chocolate in it? I'm gonna need another coffee soon. I'm trying to think where we're gonna go and get coffee, a second cup of coffee. This could end up being into like an expensive coffee day. Ordered it from Amazon. Nice. Jay got me for Christmas. Jay or one of the kids, I forget right now. They got me M&M flavored coffee. So I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure it's probably pretty good. So there we go. We got some more flowers getting ready to go in. So there's 5 seatings at Noodles a day. 11. You got 3 for lunch and 2 for dinner. So it's kind of pricey. It's usually like about $150 per person for lunch, and around $200 per person for dinner. So it's a little bit pricey, but it's really a once in a lifetime experience, right? Because the garden here, that one's not that bad then, Murakami. 120 and 160. That's not bad at all. Well, it's expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than the other ones have been. So there we go. 118. Oh, the 8s. I get with the 8s. 8s are a lucky number. So it looked like those guys, they weren't throwing food in there. It looked like they were throwing some salt. So all right, where do you guys want to walk to now? Throw my coffee out. So I should probably put my sweatshirt back on before. Well, I'll put it on when we get outside. Might be easier. I'll brave the Arctic cold of Vegas. Yeah, well, I could feel the cold coming through the doors. I don't think we're going to see any pushers this morning. Remember, guys, these are automatic doors. Do not push. Says it right on the door. We like to come here when it's crowded and watch people push the doors and get stuck because they stop. They like immediately stop if you put like some good pressure on the doors. You know, let's walk over and check out this fountain over here. I feel bad for this fountain over here because nobody really ever pays this area attention at the Bellagio. Right outside the valet and the taxi drop off, there's this nice little area. It's really good for pictures. Got this really nice fountain. Live a little and push. So it's got this awesome fountain right here. It's great for pictures. I do see people getting like wedding pictures and stuff taken here. And guys doing some stretching, about to go run. Here, let me set these up right here. I'm going to put my sweatshirt back on. There we go. All right, where do you guys want to head? Want to head south on the strip? We were walking past Hard Rock earlier. There wasn't really much going on. I mean, this early in the morning, everybody's just getting to work. So, you know, if we try to do that on the way back up, may get some better pictures. So we'll figure that out. Do we want to do Venetian or do we want to take a walk down south? I mean, we could walk down to the sign if you guys want to walk down to the sign. Check out the Vegas sign. Joanna, good morning. You just missed the conservatory, guys. Josh, good morning. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Let's head south. Maybe we'll walk all the way down to the sign. Hang out down there for a little bit. When we get to some quiet spots, I'll take the mic out so I can hook you guys up to the charger and and get you charged up for the long walk. Let's take the elevated bridge, the Bellagio bridge here. So, yeah, I thought last night, I thought maybe we made it all the way through the live without any copyright triggers, but we did. We had it early in the live. I had one, so it's getting better with the new microphone settings. So as long as when we get in loud areas, we either gonna have to mute or whatever. Demaya, what's going on? And how about ads? Are the ads popping up again this morning? I thought I tried to, no, there were no pushers, Josh. Actually, there was only like 2 people that went through the doors this morning. So, yeah. So I was trying to figure out some of the ad settings last night. I don't know. I'm gonna have to read a little bit more. It was a little bit late by the time I got to check all that stuff out. So I'm just trying to see if it's really, if I can turn off those mid-stream ads. But I don't know if that's possible. I'll figure it out. But what I did see is that every time you do a live, you have to change the settings. So I don't know. We'll see. Trial and error, guys. Trial and error. You're pretty lucky with that then, Murakami. Some people last night were like, oh, I had like a bunch. I guess, I mean, sometimes when I'm watching other streamers, I get a bunch of ads, so. Well, sitting through one ad to see me, Joanna, that's not the worst thing in the world. Couple more joggers. I wonder if we're going to see. Wonder if we're going to see some people down around Mandalay walking to the conventions. That seems to be a pretty busy spot in the morning. That's the most you'll see people outside Mandalay is early in the morning or when the conventions are letting out. So. Really want this sun to get out and get some sun on me here. So yeah, so I figured out where, right outside of Brewdog is where I got the copyright last night. Because they have that big speaker out front of Brewdog. So I think we're gonna try to skip that area, because that's another loud area. And outside of the Cromwell. I really hope that when the Cromwell switches over to Vanderpump, she lowers that music out front there, because that is just obnoxiously loud. A Miracle Mile right across the street, Planet Hollywood, in the Miracle Mile shops. Now we got to take the steps. Or actually, let's be a little bit lazy. Let's go in Cosmo and take the escalator up to the second floor so we don't have to take the steps. You know what? I forget sometimes that we're able to actually walk through these places and not see the not see the guidelines cut you off for showing adult things. Yeah, I think they do too, but I mean it's very, very loud. You know, that's like one of the loudest spots on the whole entire strip. And most people, I mean, they're not gonna hang out in front of, I don't know, maybe they will, right? There's the chandelier. The whole ceiling and everything, it's just so beautiful, the chandelier. Yeah, I said it last night on the stream. Does anybody know about how many crystals there are on the chandelier? Oh, I love this song. So, anyone know how many crystals? At one time, the chandelier bar was the most expensive bar, not price wise for your drinks, but most expensive to build at one time. Yeah, I think it's more about keeping the street vendors away from there during the party hours, and probably the homeless over. 2 million, they wanted 4 million. I think somebody must have watched one of our videos. I can't imagine what it would have looked like with 4 million. I think 4 million would have been too many. I think 2 million is like perfect. So there we go. Anybody's ever tried that drink they got there, the verbene or whatever it's called? I've never tried it because I don't drink, but Jay tried it. She liked it. We had it with our friends when our friends Freckles and C-Dub were out here. There we go. Beats taking them steps, that's for sure. But they have a non-alcoholic like sour cherry drink, which is really good. That's what I was drinking when we were hanging out there. I'm sure Murakami's probably watched several videos about the chandelier bar. Always doing research. It's nice and quiet up here right now. Perfect time for a Vegas is Dead video. Look at this. See, the problem with a Vegas is Dead video with the sky like that in the background, most people would be like, well, of course, it's early morning, right? How old is the Cosmo? The Cosmo is about 16 years old, 15 years old, something like that. It opened up in, what was it, 2009, 2010? So it's due for a remodel. After about 15 years is when casinos start doing updates. So I think it is scheduled for a remodel this year. That and Aria. I remember when the Cosmo was just a parking lot next to a parking lot next to the Jockey Club. Now the Cosmo is interesting because the Cosmo did not start out as a hotel. It started out as like luxury apartments. And then you had the crash and all that stuff. So they basically sold all the condos back to the people that bought them, except for approximately seven to 12 apparently rooms in the Cosmo are privately owned still. So, and occasionally you can find them on like an Airbnb or some kind of website that rents them out, like kind of like timeshares. So there's like 7 to 12 rooms that are actually owned by people in there, which is pretty cool. I guess they have some kind of lease deal. I don't think anyone actually lives in those rooms. Yeah, it still looks really new. They take really good care of that property. Now remember, that property was not an MGM property until about 2 years ago, which is interesting because that is one of the main reasons that MGM sold the Mirage, was to buy and finance buying the Cosmo. So, well, at least that's the rumor. I don't know that to be fact, but I know that they both happened around the same time, and basically MGM did not want that property, Mirage. One of the reasons they didn't want it up there was it was so far up the strip that, it really wasn't connected to any other of their properties. And MGM likes to have their properties all clustered. Same with Caesars. So Caesars, everything north of Planet Hollywood on the strip is basically a Caesars property, and everything on the south end of the strip is an MGM property until you get into the independents like Resorts World, Venetian, Palazzo, Treasure Island, Fontainebleau. They're all the only like real independents that are out here anymore on the strip. Josh, good morning. How you doing this morning, Josh? So there's the Veer Towers. That is one of the spots that me and Jay, I tell you guys all the time. I love them. They're residential. The Veer Towers are actually residential. So the Aria complex here, which was called City Center, but now I think they're calling it the Aria campus. This was the most expensive privately funded project it would cost around $9 billion, all of this stuff here. The Aria, the Waldorf, Shops at Crystals. There was another building that has some structural issues that they tore down during construction. Bob, good morning. How you doing? How's everyone this morning? Welcome into our little community here, the chatters, the Neon City chatters. That is what we call you guys in the chat. Nice, relaxing before some work. Now I'm off today. I just have work around the house that I got to do. So when I get done this stream, I'm going to have to, I will take the metal steps. Escalator's not working. I came up here with my son, and he's working, and he's going out to breakfast with some friends and stuff and going home. So I'm trapped on the strip today. So I'll either have to take an Uber, which is going to be about $40 to my house. So that's out. So I'll probably end up just jumping on a bus and taking the bus. Take the bus home. Right across from us, you see, that's the boulevard. That building that they're doing construction on right up there, that is going to be the world's largest In-N-Out burger. So hopefully that'll be done. I think that's done this year, possibly. I don't know. It's moving pretty slow. Yeah, I got some honeydew lists to do around the house, but a lot of it is like kind of stuff I want to do too. Yeah, Paul, you're right with that. They're keeping the Cosmo looking really nice. The Bellagio looking nice. Down the south end of the strip, they're leaving them as like, you know, budget properties. In-N-Out is March or April. Murakami, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm thinking maybe June, July. But, you know, they put that Five Guys together real quick up there, too. So maybe the restaurants are a little bit different. Alan, we still got about 2 or 3 weeks until... We still got about 2 or 3 weeks. You guys got to leave me alone until then. We need more crowds, right? Because I don't like to smoke around crowds. But good job calling me out, guys. I don't think Jay believes me when I tell her that I'm quitting. She's like, what are you gonna do instead? And I'm like, I don't know. I had to find some kind of like sugar-free candy or something to eat. James, yes, there are some interesting women out here that kind of strike up a conversation early in the morning. Trust me, they don't really want to be your friend. They only want to be your friend for a couple minutes. So, yeah, I love these early morning strolls. You know, getting out, getting the blood flowing through the veins, waking you up in the morning. You know, you got a free hug. Awesome. Hopefully you didn't get any free bugs with it too. So I think we're gonna continue down into the sign, right? What do you guys, we'll walk down to the sign. It's a pretty good walk in the morning. And then we'll stop somewhere along the way and grab another coffee. We'll try to do a cheap coffee days today. Maybe another McDonald's. There's a McDonald's down across from Mandalay, so we could probably head in there. So who's been out in Vegas this early in the morning? A lot of times people are like, I've never seen Vegas this early in the morning. I think this is like one of my favorite times out and about to get out and walk around. Is Hello Kitty expensive? It's not too expensive, Derek. Like $6.50, like $7 for a coffee with tax. It's like $8, right? And I think it's really good coffee, to be honest with you. And it's like he's having a bad morning. it's kind of like one of those things where where you're paying a little bit for the marketing, right? The Hello Kitty, but it is definitely worth it. If it wasn't worth it, I wouldn't stop and get it. There's a few places that the coffee's really not that great that I'll just skip out here because it's too expensive and just not really that good. Oh, it's great to have you in the stream this morning. Thanks for joining. Tattoo, it's your favorite time on the strip is the mornings. Nice. Yeah, flying in and getting here this early in the morning can be like, that's a long day, right? Especially now that you have to pay so much for early check-in, right? Which I think is bullcrap, you know? I mean, they have rooms that are ready, you know? If you're here, just, you know, but, you know, they want to charge you for everything now. Yeah, the Hello Kitty coffee is really good. Definitely one of the better coffees on the strip. That and Sweet Sin. I love Sweet Sin coffee up at the Link Promenade. Alan, I know you're going to make that a mission. That's going to be a side mission for Alan to trap me in the doors at Bellagio. Staffs, what's going on? How you doing? Oh, Joanna, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Where was that? Over on Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you. Just got that notification. Steph just had the morning cigarette. Nice. I just had one too, and everybody was breaking my stones about it. Yeah. So this is the Brooklyn Bridge. This is actually a really cool spot to hang out in the summertime. They have this stage here. They play some live music. It doesn't get as crowded as Fremont Street does, but it's actually really fun. They got some seats. They got lots of places to sit and just chill and watch people dance. They have you know, they have a whole range of like different artists that are up there. You got some 80s bands, some hard rock bands, you know, really fun time. And the best part is you can go across the street over ABC stores, go to CVS or Walgreens, grab a couple roadies, and sit down and have some brews while you watch the bands at the Brooklyn Bridge there. No, you know what? Vaping gives me a headache. I've tried that. I tried that trick before. Hershey's chocolate. We don't need it today, but in the summertime, Hershey's chocolate and the M&M store are great spots to go and hang out and walk around to beat the heat because they keep them colder than most stores because of all the chocolates in there. So yeah, I absolutely cannot run out of fuel. I need that coffee. So I think once we get up here, we're going to cross the street when we get closer down by the Luxor and head into McDonald's there. Yeah, I tried that before, James, and it didn't work. It gave me like headaches. It gave me a bad cough. So when I quit, I'm just going to go cold turkey. That's going to have to be the way we do it. We're just going to say, you know what, we're done today, and that's it. It's going to be a new way of living, right? No smoking. So this right here, thank you, Joanna. Joanna's sponsoring our morning stream. So this right here used to have water in it. You guys remember? Statue of Liberty had water in here. MGM has taken away pretty much all the water features outside of their properties. Now we, the Neon City Walker chatters, came up with an idea that they should make a mini golf course here. You know, New York's themed mini golf course, complete with hot dog carts, Halla cars, all that, all that good stuff that you would find in New York with some mini golf. It would look a lot better than this plain, ugly green field of fake AstroTurf, or put the water back in. Now, MGM, there's the Statue of Liberty. So MGM has said that it is because they did some kind of water conservation, some sort of water conservation accord that they are trying to conserve water and, get rid of all this excess water. But there's definitely ways that they could recycle the water and put it back in there. But if they really don't want the water, then let's build a mini golf course here. We should do another video on that, right? We did a video. We should do another video, tag MGM, New York, and try to see if we can get that. Reflation. That kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense there, Stephs. But the real question is it really greed or is it corporate structure, right? Because, they go hand in hand, but, a lot of the things that these casinos and corporations are doing, they're doing because that's what the shareholders want. They need to continue to increase their revenue, their KPIs, their key performance indicators. They need to keep the RevPAR up, the daily room rates up. So everything's becoming a transaction nowadays, and it seems like greed, and it is when you ultimately get down to it. But I think it's also just the way that corporations are structured, and the laws sometimes make them do those type of things to keep the money flowing for the shareholders. I think someone said late stage capitalism last night. There's no more competition. And that's the major thing. No more competition. No more competition means the incentives change, right? The incentives change from long-term goals to short-term quarterly goals. When there's no competition, we got to figure out ways to beat the last quarter. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that? And, like I said last night, we're starting to see friction from people coming to Vegas and not coming to Vegas because of fees and because of prices of restaurants and things like that. So we're starting to see the frustration catch up, right? Because the economy's not doing great. People are paying more attention to what's on the folio when they check out. And, what am I getting for these resort fees and things like that? And you're really not getting anything for a resort fee. You're just getting an extra fee, an extra revenue stream for them. And because people didn't really push back at it when it first started, they were like $5 or $10 a night, for a resort fee. And it was like, oh, well, at least I'm getting internet, not everybody had smartphones back in 2008 when it started, so they, plugged the computer into their room and things like that. So now, if you have a good data plan, you don't even need the internet in the room. So, set up a hotspot on your phone. So there's a lot that's changed, and they just kept increasing the resort fees and things like that. Parking's been around for 10 years. And, you know, resort fees have been around since 2008. It's too early to do that math. Are most pools open by March 21st? I think they open March 1st. Or maybe it's March 31st. So the thing with the pools is, like Venetian, Wynn, Resorts World, Fountain Blue, Cosmo, Aria, all the big spots, Mandalay, MGM, all have their pools open. If you're staying at an MGM property, you have access, and say like here, Excalibur doesn't have their pool open, then you can go over to MGM's Grand's pool and get in there. Same thing with Caesars. A lot of properties shut down their pools, but you can still go to one or two of the Caesars main pool. Yeah, $5. $5 resort fees. I remember them way back in the day. Tattoo, that is crazy. I have never heard of them holding back fees like that. Zoom cage. What's a flock camera? Ruben coming back, Fremont, Golden Nugget, nice. We're gonna pull over here. I'm gonna hook you guys up to, since it's pretty quiet down this end of the strip, I don't think I need the microphone. So I'm gonna use this opportunity to put you guys on a charger so I can charge as we're walking. Or you know what, actually, I think we're gonna make a quick pit stop in the Luxor. I am a human being, and sometimes I gotta take a little short break. So yeah, I'll have to look into the flock cameras. You mean like those cop camera stands? I've seen a few of them. But somehow I think you might be talking about something different. So across the street here we have the baseball stadium going up. More than license plate readers. Okay. Yeah, I'll look into them. See, that's the boredom kicking in sometimes. Not that I'm bored, but like when I'm just like kind of, the worst thing for me is when there's no crowds around. I'm like, might as well get it in now while I can. I know, this is, that's why I like having Jay out with me too, because I don't smoke that much around her. These damn pesky microphones. That's what it is. It's these damn pesky microphones that are right next to, like, right underneath my chin. Mud's gonna be upset. We're walking past Luxor. We're gonna walk into Luxor, and he's not even gonna be here. He loves the Luxor, and I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it. I feel the love. Feel the love. The Luxor, that is what started my love of Las Vegas. Yeah, it is monetized. It is. But so the thing with like in IRL streaming is a lot of times like when we're on the strip, we do pick up some copyrighted music. And you know, that'll demonetize that stream unless you catch it at the right point as soon as you end. If I can, there's like a workaround, but I don't think I'm very good at doing the workaround because I tried to do it last night, and so the replays get monetized, but the stream, during the stream, I lost the monetization. But that's all right. Have a lot of fun just walking and talking with you guys, you know, and I do get support from people like Joanna, other people. They send supers or stickers, where they go to buy me a coffee and support us that way. And that keeps us going, you know, that pays. That's like, we put it back in. We go to a happy hour where we'll go and get coffee and desserts and share that time with you guys. And so that's one way to support. Another way is like if you do subscribe, or even if you don't subscribe, you just go check out our videos and stuff. You know, YouTube, with the ads and stuff, you get an ad revenue, which is a lot nicer than how TikTok did it. And we do have our link tree, which I got to clean up. But our link tree, we do have some affiliate links on there. And we are affiliates for Aroma Retail, which Murakami just put up. If you guys aren't familiar with Aroma Retail, that is a store out here in Vegas that you can buy online, the Hotel Sense. And Tiff, good morning, good morning. Alec, you know, I was doing dual streams for a while because I streamed through the Prism Live app, and somehow I disconnected my Twitch and Kick streams, and I have just been a little bit lazy to put them back on. So I will try to do that today and check it out like again. And it's actually pretty cool because the Prism Live, it sends out to all three streams at the same time, and all the streams are represented in the chat, in one chat, and they have a different icon next to them depending on which stream somebody's commenting from, to make it easy to see where things are coming from. So yeah, it is. I need to start using that option too. So once we get in here, I'm going to pause it so that I can take a quick break. So but yeah, this is the valet and taxi area outside of Luxor, and they have moved their rideshare. So I'm doing a series. I have one done, and I am editing some other ones for rideshare and taxi locations at all the hotels out here, because some of it can get confusing. So, you know, they move them all the time for the rideshares. The rideshare people don't get a whole lot of respect out here with that. So Zoo, do you know when you walk into Cosmo or Aria, which is one that most people are very familiar with, or the Luxor right now, I can actually smell the scent as I walk into the Luxor, which the scent in the Luxor is the same as Aria, I believe. They share the same scent. So it's the scent that the hotel smells like. So if you go on Roma Retail, they actually supply, I believe, the hotels with that scent. We also have a promo code, Neon City, which will give you 20% off. So I'm going to go in and use the restroom real quick. I'm going to put you guys on pause. All right, I think we are back now. So I always get nervous when I when I do that like it's gonna like pop back on. So yeah, so let's get back to the scent smells. So Aroma Retail, they have all the major resorts out here, and they have collections from basically all over. They have your normal scents, things like that. So we have a live stream that we did from there. That's in our live stream replays. If you want to check that out and get some more information about aromatherapy, but their website is actually really good. A lot of information there. So we're gonna pull over in a minute and try to get you guys on. You know, I don't even think I need to pull over. I can just do this one-handed while we walk, I think. Get you guys on the charger real quick. Steps, I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, it seems to me like they actually are turning the music up in these places, trying to like, I don't know, discourage maybe live streaming or whatever. I love it in the Luxor here. This atrium here is the world's largest by volume. So it is super cool. A lot of cool stuff. We can walk through the Mandalay Bay shops here and warm up a little bit. I'm not sure what the temperature is outside. Like I said, I think it's probably still in the 40s, maybe about 50 now, but definitely a lot colder than I like. So let's go up through here through the Mandalay Bay shops. Probably nothing's going to be open. We'll head over to the lobby and then through the Enchanted Garden, which we have a really cool video of the Enchanted Garden at night. It's just a quiet walkthrough. It's probably an area that a lot of people miss. Probably don't even know that that garden exists out there. It was, I remember when they had the water features running out there, how cool it was. But they have since taken the water features and made it like a desert scape. So, but it's still really cool. It's beautiful at night. It's lit up really well. So we're gonna switch guys over now. Put you on. There we go. You should be on the charger. There we go. So 45 and high of 57 today. What, man? What are we getting a cold streak back? That's not good. That's not good. It was cold last week. Very cold last week, and then a couple weeks ago in December we had some 75 degrees days, 73, 75. I love that kind of weather. It's in the winter time, so we'll see how that goes. But 57 today, not even 60. My son's probably happy he only had to go into work for about an hour. So minus 11 Friday, minus 11. That would be the death of me, Joanna. You know that. You guys just even telling me that it's going to be minus 11 makes me just shiver. It runs like a cold down my spine when I hear stuff like that. Glitter and Coffee, they actually have cleaned it up. I mean, when we walked past it, we'll see it now. They have kind of cleaned that area up. -1 in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's one of my favorite cities on the East Coast. If I had, like I say, we have a couple subscribers that live in Pittsburgh and friends on TikTok that live in Pittsburgh. That is probably one of the only cities on the East Coast. And it's not really on the East Coast, I guess, but it is because it's in Pennsylvania. Based on the water, right? There you go, Mike. That's the proper way of saying water, by the way. Everybody who says water, or however the rest of the world says it, they're all saying it wrong. All 7 billion people. I think y'all should jump ship and come on out to Vegas. That would be fun. We should all pull our money together and build a NeonCityWalker compound, right? We'll go buy like 100 acres in the desert. We can get a solar farm, get some wells, because there is a pretty big aquifer underneath of Vegas. So we could probably dig some wells, get our own water, and have a big solar and wind farm somewhere on our property. Everybody can build tiny houses. That would be so cool. Just be like an hour outside of Vegas, so it's not that bad. We'll get a big bus. Everybody can jump on the bus, and I could drive the bus, or Mud can drive the bus. He wants to drive the bus to hell anyway. So I do talk about Johns. I do say Johns sometimes. Not as much as I used to when I lived in Philly, because people out here, they don't know what a John is. So, when you're in Philly and you use the word John, they're doing something here. I guess they're remodeling something here, so we're gonna have to cut through. Mandalay is working on new ways to wow you. Please pardon our dust. Okay. Building something there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, people don't know what a John is. I remember when I first moved down here, and I was like, yeah, we're going to go to John. And they're like, what's a John? And I'm like, John is a person, place, or thing. You're just supposed to know exactly what I say when I say John. What I mean when I say John. There's the high roller, high limit. Cowboys, what's going on? But yeah, we could do that, right? We could get ourselves build a compound, have a bus, so we can all head into the Strip, and have a permanent designated driver. That could be me, since I don't drink, and go do our walks on the Strip and Fremont and all that. That would be super cool. Idea of what? Of the commune? What kind of commune would you like to build? Yeah, I love doing these early morning lives, Cowboys. Or is that Cowboys? I got my glasses on, but it's still sometimes the chat on here is a little bit small. Oh, idea of a John? So I looked into the word John before and how it kind of became Philly slang, right? So it originated from the word joint, right? Because remember back in like the 60s and 70s, people were like, you gonna go to that joint? You know, that was kind of the thing. So different cities along the East Coast where they were using the word joint kind of started putting their own accent on it, right? And Philly, right? So Philly, when you ask somebody, did you eat? It really sounds like, did you eat? Right? Did you eat? Right? Because we kind of stop, we don't pronounce all the syllables and stuff in Philly. We're kind of lazy speakers. And, you know, so it went from being called, you know, did you go to that joint to did you go to that John in Philly? Jet, there you go, in Pittsburgh. Hey, what's that sandwich place? I think it starts with a P in Pittsburgh. That it's it starts with a P. I used to go to Pittsburgh a lot. I was in the Steelworkers Union. I was a full-time union safety rep, and we would go out to Pittsburgh because that's where the international headquarters were for training and stuff. And we used to go to Carson Street a lot. We used to go to that what's that, Market Square, I think it is. So yeah, that place. Primanti's. Yeah, that is, I'm probably saying that wrong, but that is a good sandwich, man. All right, so this is, so when you come out of the lobby at Mandalay, this is how you start going through the Enchanted Garden here. But we have a really nice video walking through here at night. Yeah, Carson is a really cool little street, man. A lot of cool bars. And then that I really used to enjoy doing that river trail where they had all the I don't want to say artifacts, but like the smelters and the, you know, all that stuff on the river from all the different steel plants and stuff. That was really cool. I used to love getting up early and taking a walk down there. So that used to be a waterfall. You can see with the stains there, but now, you know, they've taken all this out and made it like a desert scape. Man, we're packed to the gills. We could actually use like a little bit bigger of a house. We got all the kids there. Actually, like when we bought our house, we were. How you doing?
Look at the trash.
That's what I'm looking for. I see a couple things.
So much, they got no water on these plants. If you walk out in front, you walk down, it looks like it's a homeless city at night. And I ain't saying it's bad. It's just.
Yeah, I was here the other night. It wasn't that bad out front, but
Go look at it right now.
people need to you know, take care of their own litter. Have a little responsibility for themselves. You know what I mean? They definitely need to do that. Definitely need to do that. That's why I'm looking for all the trash right now. I see one bag. Oh, there's a kitty cat. It's like a Black Panther, look. That cat's living the life, I guess, right? Living on the Vegas Strip in this beautiful garden. Poor cat. I love black cats. We heard this cat the other night. Well, we heard a cat here the other night. He's doing rodent control. That's what he's doing. He looks pretty well fed. It looks like somebody has a can of food for him over here. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Yeah, I know. I want to do some sunrise videos. The problem with me in sunrise videos is a lot of times I don't like to wake up that early on my days off. I do sunset videos. We do some sunset lives. We have a couple spots that I get a good reception out in the desert. Now this is trash, right? Like, who does that? That should be actually painted over. MGM should have been out here right away and painted over that. You know, a lot of people don't realize there are rats are not native to Vegas. The rats kind of came with the palm trees. I did not know that rats live in the top of palm trees. So when they brought in a bunch of palm trees, they started importing palm trees into Vegas. That's when they started getting some rats. So yeah, I am gonna try to get myself up and at them and at a good vantage point for a morning sunrise live on one of the mountains. Thank you for subscribing there, Cali boy. Yeah, I'm up and at 'em this morning because I thought my son had to be at work around 7:30, but he actually had to be at work at 6:30. And we left the house. We left the house at like 5:30. Now you don't have to worry about them falling on you or jumping on you. Jay, good morning. I got your message. We're gonna head down to the sign and then start heading back up this strip. We're gonna do a nice walk this morning. Starting your classes now, okay. I'm gonna head over to the McDonald's across the street when we get down at the next light and grab a coffee. You want to see if you can order me one on the app? You know, I could do it. I think I could, because I think I can open up other apps while I'm streaming on Prism, and it works that way. If not, I'll just go and just order it in there. So they're doing some kind of construction up here. I think it has something to do with the ballpark. So if you're driving north on Las Vegas Boulevard, right where it turns into the strip, which is right around here. This is the traffic that you kind of got to deal with. So it goes down to one lane. Carwood, yeah, you can catch the Deuce. I'm not so sure about like the ride shares and stuff. When our kids were older when ride shares kind of got to Vegas, so, but I think you can order a ride share or an Uber with a booster seat or something like that. James, what's up, man? And I'm not sure about taxis, but if you do have your own little seat, then I think you can kind of just throw them in. I should probably look into that, because I think I got asked that question before. Jay, I'm surprised it took you that long to mute me. Jay usually mutes me right away. That's what married couples do, right? She don't want to listen to me talk. So we are outside. This is like the convention center for Mandalay out here. It's not that bad of a walk down to the sign either. I mean, I don't mind the walk. And when it's not blazing hot outside, it's really not that bad. I'm surprised. We're only at 8,000 steps for the morning. So across the street, that is just basically construction for the road construction stuff. Those tall pillars in the background there, let me see if I can zoom in. It's that tall pillars that are in between the palm trees right now. That was where the original high roller was going to be, but they lost funding for that, and then I think they ended up building it up at the Link Promenade. There's the Desert Oasis, which I think is still open. I think that's a kind of seedy spot. And some shut down stuff right there. Excuse me. Then they have a little strip mall here with a panda and an Indian restaurant, liquor store, the McDonald's. So we're gonna walk across over there and grab my coffee. Oh, we flipped. Hit the wrong button. Hit the wrong button. Did that just flip on you guys? It's just non-stop construction out here. Cardwood, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for the support. Yeah, there's like really nothing down here. That's why you really never see people walking down here. We got the Four Seasons Hotel entrance here. Carnwood, thank you, I very much appreciate it. Thanks for joining us this morning on our walks. Looks like they're extending the sidewalk or something right here. Probably a lot of this construction, I think they're probably beefing up the pipes a little bit for the stadium. That's a possibility. Oh, there's the pink Jeep. Anyone ever taken the pink Jeep tour? I think the pink Jeep tour would be pretty cool. That goes up to like Valley of Fire is one of the ones that I know they do. Valley of Fire is beautiful. People love to honk their horn out here. People honk their horns at the weirdest things too. It's like they honk when they're passing you. They're in their lane and you're in your lane, but they still honk. Another crazy thing Vegas drivers do is they pass on the right constantly. And they come flying up on the right-hand side of you. And the left-hand lanes are open, but they just kind of decide that, you know, it's just easier for me to head over to the right and pass you. And then they'll flash their lights and it distracts you. How do you get into this McDonald's? Pre-ordered here. Is it around the side, around the back maybe? I don't know. I've never gone to this McDonald's. This is a new one for us. It's probably around the other side. That just looks like a pickup window. I've never seen just a pickup window. Guess that's, you order on the app and you go there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I think it's right here. Do that coffee, premium roast, dark. We'll do one cream and one sugar. Normally I just drink it black. Alan will take the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, 2 hash browns. No coffee? Oh, there's a door in the front here. How about that? That's not very well marked.
Mud, good morning, buddy. We were up and at 'em a lot earlier than I said last night on the live. I think I started at like 6:35 today. So we're just in here in McDonald's and we're just gonna grab a coffee and get out of here. I'm actually gonna mute you guys because I don't want to end up with a copyright warning real quick here. You know, I probably already got it because the music was on while I was ordering. I didn't even hear it. I don't hear the background music sometimes. Not a big deal. We'll fix that when we get off. And the replays will be okay. Hopefully. Neat. Thank you. All right, you too. Now let's see if this front door opens. All right, so now we know that there is, right next to the pre-order, there is a door. I've never seen that. I've never seen a pre-order like window, a pickup window. I guess they close it, the lobby, overnight, right? Probably for the safety of the workers. And you have to go up to the window. That's pretty cool. I wish they had that around the McDonald's by my house. Because a lot of times when my kids are walking home from the gym, they want to stop and grab something, but the lobby's closed. How are you doing this morning, Mud? We're walking down to the sign. So you missed the Luxor. We'll hit it on the way back for you, bud. I think McDonald's coffee, I get it black a lot, most times, but sometimes when I'm trying it for the first time at a new McDonald's, I like to just get a little bit of cream and like 1 sugar because McDonald's coffee can be bitter. So I just like to do that. Nice, you went up early, did some dad duties and went back to bed. Nice. Yeah, I was up and at 'em early. I was up and out of bed by like 5:15, left my house about 5:30. And I made my son drive this morning. You know, we took his car up because he had training and he's going out to breakfast afterwards. So he's ditching me on the strip. He's like, you got to find your own way home. So we come out and I'm like, you're driving, right? And he's like, oh, I guess. I'm like, yeah, it's your car. I'm going to get to take that 20-minute nap from our house to the strip that you take every other morning when I drive. There's the airport over there. We'll be... I wonder if we'll see any of the Janet planes this morning. You guys know what the Janet planes are? They're the planes that take the employees that work at Area 51 from Vegas to Area 51. You can notice them because they're pretty nondescript. They're just plain white planes with 1 red stripe down them. Yeah, I hear you, Joanna. You know, don't be like Mud and get yourself in trouble at work. is in here? You saw three of them bouncing Bob. You saw 3 Janet planes. Yeah, it's pretty cool when you see them. Yeah, that's how Jay is, Alan. She works from home, so, you know, a lot of times when she's not feeling like being in the office, which is home, we go up the strip and she does her work from the strip. Palace, what's going on? Wow, there's an online auction, home of the historic pink elephant, selling at or above a minimum bid of $10 million. All right, guys, if we pull our money together, we can make this our compound. We only need about like 30 million to probably upgrade it, win it, and upgrade it. We're gonna walk down to the sign. We're walking down to the sign. This is a good time to go to the sign too. Usually not very crowded. The later in the day it gets super crowded. And a lot of people don't realize that when you're at the sign, like, there are no official photographers. There are people that try to scam you and say, oh, here, I got to take your picture, you know, and then they want to charge you for the picture. You got your own cell phone and stuff, take your own picture, you know. The Mighty Bull, what's going on? How you doing this morning? And another thing you don't have to do is you don't have to wait in the line. If you go off on the side of the sign and take a picture from a little bit of a side view, you can be in and out of the sign in no time. I see people standing there, you know, for hours, for like an hour sometimes. The one time Birds fan came out, Ed, you guys know him. That's where I met him, because a buddy of another friend of his brought him from the airport, and I was out and about, so he's like, hey, let's meet at the sign. So I was like, all right. So I went there, I waited about 45 minutes, and there were still people in line in that 45 minutes that hadn't gotten up to the sign yet. So this is the Little Church of the West Wedding Chapel. This is just south of Mandalay. They got some nice gardens and stuff in there. It's a nice spot to get married. Mighty Bull, what are we doing today? Right now we're walking down to the Vegas sign, and then we're gonna head back up. Yeah, it's not after. The Mighty Bull has the Neon City Walker After Dark name. So does Alan. I think some people, it's always after dark for them. The Pinball Hall of Fame. That's a pretty fun spot to go. I think it's, you know, it's still like 25 cents per game, you know, to play pinball. They got some really good stuff. We should go in there one day. How long from Mandalay to the sign? Yeah, I would say it's probably about a 15-minute walk or so. You know, I'm walking pretty slow and casual today. 15 to 20 minutes. It's not bad in the morning. Now, here's a little trick that you have to do. When you come out of Mandalay, you cross where the McDonald's is, where I went and got my coffee. Cheers. You cross at that light to the other side of Las Vegas Boulevard, and you walk down that side, because we just walked past Russell Road where them cars are turning. If you're on the other side, you could stand at that light waiting for the crosswalk to tell you to go for a good 5 minutes. We've done that. Yeah, I've seen that that website, Mud, and that's a pretty cool thing. You could buy that light, that bulb. Now, I mean, you know, I don't think it's like every date. It's only when they do the maintenance, I think, right? So yes, everyone, listen to the great Murakami. If you haven't already, please subscribe and help our channel grow. I think this morning we were at 1,050, and we are very appreciative of all of you. We hit that 1,000 subscriber mark a little bit quicker than I was anticipating, and I really appreciate all of the support that you guys give us. Now you can find them light bulbs also on eBay, I think. Now the problem is, you know, people fake stuff on eBay. So, but if you buy it through the website, you're getting a real certificate of authenticity. You know, my son has told me stories of some of his friends buying sports memorabilia on eBay with certificates of authenticity, and then finding out later that it was all fake. So I'm kind of hesitant to do that. Like, I was thinking about it because I did see a date that had significance for us, but it was on eBay, and I decided not to because I didn't want to chance it. You know, I didn't want to, not that I would ever know, because I doubt I would take it and get it authenticated, but it's just a Harley Davidson. They do rentals there too for you guys that want to rent motorcycles. You need a motorcycle license, obviously, to rent, but you know, once you get outside of Vegas, there are some nice roads to ride motorcycles on. And then if we went about a mile south of here, that is Town Square. Town Square is like it's like a shopping district right out of Beverly Hills 90210, lined with palm trees, really nice restaurants, cool stores, movie theater. So it's an awesome spot. Maybe one night me and Jay will take you guys down there and do a little walk around. Little too much for me to walk today. And if you go about maybe 2 or 3 miles more south of here we are at the sign. If you go about 2 or 3 miles more south of here is the South Outlets, which has some nice stores in there too. Yes, Maverick Helicopters. Did we walk past it, or no? I think it may be down a little bit more south of us. There's a lot of cool stores in there. We could walk down a little bit more if you want. Check out a little more of the airport. Oh, that's a Janet plane getting ready to take off. Check that out. That is the plane that takes employees to Area 51. We got Alan's private jet taking off. I probably just ended up on like 5 surveillance lists for showing that. Yeah, I think Maverick's right down here. I see them take off all the time. I take this road a lot, and I see them taking off. That's the first time that I've actually been able to catch one on a live stream. Yeah, can't be late for work in Area 51. A guy I know, he just got a job up at the testing site, not Area 51, but the testing site up there, and that's some pretty good money, but it's a lot of, so much security clearance to go through. It's insane. Oh, there it goes. It's running up that runway. We couldn't get it. It was blocked by the other jet. It was blocked by Alan's jet. Yeah, Maverick's right down here. We'll walk down and take a look. That would be... There's some nice looking jets over there, man. Uh-oh, there's the black SUV. They're gonna come and snatch me up at the corner. It's been nice knowing you guys. As they drive by, they're gonna do the little flash thing like they did in Men in Black. We just all forgot what we saw, right? Nothing wrong with Spirit, man. I'll tell you what, when I flew back to Philly, I took Frontier, and man, Frontier, talk about no frills, you get what you pay for type of airline, right? Like, your bag, you're allowed like a personal item, this tiny little bag. So I had to go back to Philly for a weekend and pack everything in my little streaming bag here. Compression, I used the compression bags to get everything compressed, and it was like, they were like serious about it too. They were pulling people out of line, making them put it in the bag measurer, and a bunch of people were like, they had to pay because the bag was like an inch too big. But I'll tell you what, it took off on time. Spirit, I don't mind Spirit Airlines. You know, listen, man, Kevin, what's going on? Spirit Airlines is you know, again, you get what you're paying for, you know. What I always try to do is if they ask for volunteers to sit in the emergency exit aisle, I always volunteer. You get extra leg room. So this is Maverick. This is where you would come, I guess, for the helicopter tours. They fly direct, Pittsburgh to Vegas. Nice. So now, my mother-in-law, she had a crazy experience on her last visit here going back. Looks like they're getting ready for a helicopter tour. That's pretty cool, going through the safety measures. So her flight in Vegas got delayed, and she was going to miss her connecting flight in Fort Lauderdale. So we had to cancel, and since it was already advertised and stuff, they had to give her a full refund, and they kind of tried to fight us on that. But if you read the Department of Transportation guidelines, any significant delay, or if it's going to cause you to miss your airline, your connecting flight, you can tell them, I choose not to fly, and they have to refund you your money. So we were able to find a cheap flight, direct flight on, I forget what airline, going directly from Vegas to Philly. Maybe it's US Air, I don't know. And we were able to book that, so she didn't miss her flight, because if she would have missed her flight in Fort Lauderdale, she would have had like a 10-hour delay. So, like, that's ridiculous. You know, they make it so that, like, you know, one flight lands and the other one you got to run to the terminal. She's 72 years old. You know, she can't sprint no more. You know, I'm a little nervous about ever doing one of them helicopter tours. You know, I know helicopters are pretty safe, you know, and there's like, you know, a lot of, like, if the engine stops, they do have protections to keep it from just free falling, you know. Got a full refund when you got stuck in Paris. Nice. Your Dominican trip. Is that the trip you just recently took? The Dominican trip? So yeah, so we ended up having a, like, you know, argue and fight a little bit to get our refund, but I'm pretty sure, well, I think she got it. I think she just got it. So, but they were like, oh, we can't offer that because, you know, the flight hasn't left yet. And it's like, nah, that's not the rule. That's not the rules. And I'm like one of those people that I remember reading it somewhere, and I went on and I found out exactly what the rules were on the Department of Transportation. I had it pulled up on my phone at the airport, read it to her, and she's like, yeah, okay. So, oh, you did the night flight over the strip. That must have been beautiful. That must have been beautiful. Now, you know, this may be something for Neon City After Dark, but they do have that Love Cloud flights too, you know. That's like the Mile High Club flights that leave out of the North Las Vegas airport. Which one we talking about, Glitter and Coffee? The night flight or the Love Cloud? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You know how anything can take us off the rails here. Well, I mean, I think that would be a cool flight too. The Love Cloud, you know. I've seen that on TikTok. All in good fun, all in good fun. Some of their videos are pretty funny that the Love Cloud does. All right, so we are almost back to the Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign. Not much of a crowd there, so we're gonna head over there. It's just, you know, it's always so funny because like the chat sometimes has that delay. So you say something and then you go on to something else that's a little, you know, maybe spicy or whatever. And people are like, I've done that. And they're talking about exactly what happened there. And it's like, it happens constantly. It's fun. It makes for... Mike, probably not. You probably shouldn't look that up on your... I mean, I don't know how your HR department is, but the Neon City Walker HR department is pretty lenient with stuff. So, Mike, a little word of advice. If Mud says yes, do it. You probably shouldn't. He is a master at giving you bad advice. Not bad advice. All right, that means we can cross. Hopefully this guy sees the red light. Yeah, so there's like nobody here. What time is it? It is 8:51. Perfect time to come out here and get your picture. You can get your picture here. Little placard, welcome to the fabulous Las Vegas. So when it's kind of crowded here, you can just go right up over onto the side, stand underneath the sign and get your picture from the side, which is pretty cool. Same difference. You don't have to wait in that line. You don't have to pay anybody to do it. We used to take the picture underneath the sign on this side, and then on the back side it says like "come again." I'll show you. I don't want to ruin these people's picture here. But you see that guy is trying to get their picture. Now he's going to try to charge them some money to do that. You don't have to pay that guy. But you can get some really good pictures here. I mean, at night, that line goes all the way up past almost to where that red truck is. And you get a huge line when it's really nice out and all that. And at night, I mean, you do get the really nice strip in the background there. So, nothing but encouraging advice offered here. Yes. But sometimes encouraging advice can be the wrong advice, Mud.
There we go.
Hey, it's a hustle, right? The guy's trying to do a hustle, but you don't, like, you know, sometimes they do get a little aggressive, them guys, and they're like, oh no, I have to take a picture, blah, 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 and it's like, no, you don't, get out of here. Yeah, I know. That's been a problem, Glitter and Coffee. A lot of people have complained about that. And I don't know why Vegas doesn't do that. So, welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas. Sign debuted on the east, on the Las Vegas Strip in 1959. And today it remains one of the most popular attractions in Clark County. Appearing in countless vacation photos, commercials, and movies, the sign was designed by Betty Willis. The county paid $4,000 for the sign, which is located about 4 miles south of the Las Vegas city limits in an unincorporated part of Clark County. The sign was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2009 to coincide with Clark County's centennial celebration. In 2014, the county collaborated with several organizations, including Green Chips, Clean Energy Project, and the Consumer Electronics Association to install the solar panels here. The panels provide enough electricity to completely offset the energy used by the sign. Thank you for visiting our world-famous landmark. Drive carefully. Come back soon. The Board of Clark County Commissioners. So, what is it? Vesco owns the sign. You can see it here. You see that guy standing over there on the side? That's exactly what I'm telling you to do. He can just go there and take a picture of himself right there. So Vesco owns this side, and they have a copyright on it, trademark, all that stuff, but as long as you're not abusing it, they don't really care. They let people take the pictures, and they don't really enforce that. I'm just wondering where these people are from. And who says Canadians are not coming to Vegas no more? There is a Canadian van all the way from, I think it's Alberta. Yesco, I'm sorry. I'm super tired this morning, Mud. Just push this in. There we go. Yesco. I'm like looking at the sign and my eyes are like, I know it's Yesco, but I'm reading Vesco because I'm standing far back. Oh well, whatever. So yes, that was the most Canadian van. I think that puts to rest that Canadians aren't coming to Vegas no more, right? Because there's obviously a van full of Canadians. And we actually have quite a few people from Canada that follow us and subscribe that we've met with throughout the summer. So they're just not coming in the droves that they used to. I think that's one of Terrible Hearst's corporate center or something like that. That's like the gas station. And let me tell you, their coffee lives up to the name. It is terrible. Not good coffee at that gas station. And usually I do like gas station coffee. I just do not like Terrible Hearst gas station coffee. Josh will be back in 2 months. So we'll have another Canadian to put on the visitors' rolls. Isle hikes, yes, we've been out. I've started about 6:35 this morning. I try to do one early live stream like every week. Some weeks my early live stream starts at 9 because I'm just being lazy and don't want to get out of bed. And someone, MJ from TikTok brought me a Canadian pin. I have it at home. I took it off when I flew, and I just haven't put it back on my bag. TSA, I'm like, oh man, I might get like held up at the TSA line. Why do I have a sharp object on my bag from Canada? So, but yeah, I try to do at least one early morning live stream on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and during the week I like to do like some mid-afternoon, only about 45 minutes to an hour long. A lot of times those live streams are on TikTok after work, like Mondays, Thursdays, things like that. And and then just kind of random nights that me and Jay come up the strip, which is 4 nights a week. Blade, you've seen me in the Earth Cam. Well, I've been on the Earth Cam On the Bellagio conservatory, we were having fun on the Earth Cam the one day. I was waving to them. Well, we were in Bellagio. Am I semi-retired? No, I am very far from retired. I'll be 50 next month. I just do this for kind of fun. You know, I mean, it would be great if I could do this like full time, but you know, anything to get out of working for the man every day. I mean, I guess if you ask Jay would say I act like I'm semi-retired because I don't really like to do stuff around the house until I have to, you know, yard work, things like that. I'm like, wait till the HOA sends us a notification, then I'll pull the weeds. But no, I work full time on the Strip at one of the big old hotels up here that we see. I work in maintenance there. My days off are Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You know, in Vegas, a lot of people, you know, it's a 24-hour town, 7 days a week. So, you know, your days off vary. And you know what? When I first got hired, I had the opportunity to have Friday and Saturday off, or Tuesday and Wednesday. And I chose Tuesday and Wednesday because it's 2 days where in the week where, you know, I could go to a doctor's appointment. I could, you know, there's a lot more that you can do when you have 2 days off during the week and not have to be rushing around right after work. You know what I mean? Joe, good morning. How you doing? So I jumped on the chance to have a Tuesday and Wednesday off. And you know, I've always had Friday and Saturday off. And then the job when I worked for the Transportation Authority in Philadelphia. All right, Joanna, we'll probably be there. Ha ha. Yeah, I went there. It's a semi-healthy lifestyle. It'll get a little bit more healthy in the middle of February when I quit the smoking. So, but when I worked for the Transportation Authority, my days off rotated a lot. And like I'd have a Monday, Tuesday, or a Sunday, Monday, a Wednesday, Thursday, and I really liked having a couple days off midweek. So when we moved out here and I had that opportunity, I was like, you know, there's been times where a Saturday, Sunday has opened up where I work, and guys are like, oh, you gonna take that? And I'm like, nope, I'm staying Tuesday, Wednesday. Now the only time I would take a different days off would be if I'd had if I worked like the graveyard shift. I don't think I would ever want to work a swing shift, you know, like 3 to 11. I'd much rather work 11 to 7 and you know, have my daytimes to do that stuff. That swing shift, it's just I don't know how people can get their life together with that. Tony, what's going on? Thank you. Nice, in middle of the night scrolling. Hope you're enjoying, man. Thank you for the subscription. So if you could choose your days off, chat, what days would you take off? If you could choose any 2 days of the week. And they don't have to be concurrent either. You know, some people do like to have like a Tuesday and a Friday to break up their work week. I just think that messes with your PTO too much. Saturday, Sunday, no questions for Alan, okay? Awesome, Tony. Monday and Friday, 4-day weekend every week. Nice. I'm not a big fan of 410s either. I'd rather work like so when I worked in refining for the bulk of my working career, the operators, they worked at a schedule called every other weekend off, EOWEO. And they would work 2 days, like a Monday and Tuesday, and they would work day work, and then they would be off Wednesday and Thursday. And then they would go back in for Friday, Saturday, Sunday on night work. Have Monday, Tuesday off, Wednesday, Thursday, day work, and then off for the weekend. So they worked a total of 84 hours in a 2-week span, working 12-hour shifts, and I thought that was a pretty decent schedule, because you know you could wrap 2 days of PTO and have 5 days off. You work 3 days, 6:30, 6:30, 3 nights, 6:30. Oh, well, then you get 6 days off. I mean, that's pretty good, Josh. That doesn't sound that bad. Sunday to Tuesday, every other. Oh, nice. Sunday and Monday as well. Okay. I mean, the key is you have to learn to adapt, right? I mean, like if I went to a new property and the only days available were like Thursday, Friday, then I would have to adapt to that, right? And you just kind of were Sunday, Monday, you know? Like I would have to adapt to that. But I just never really liked the 410s. I always felt that during the week, like I got home so late, you know, like I'd work 7 to like 5:30, and by the time I got home it was like 7, you know, with the traffic, rush hour traffic, and then it was like too late to do anything. So Ro, what's going on? Moo moo. Nat, what's going on? Moo moo. Everyone, let's give a little moo moo. That's a little greeting that Jay has with some of the students in her class there. They let us know when we're on. Matt, that's not too bad. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because you're getting, see, all the 410s I've always done were like Monday through Thursday 410s. And Friday, Saturday, like my Friday was like so busy trying to fit in all the appointments. And I don't know. I'm not a big fan of 410s. A lot of people love it though. There's a lot of guys where I work that wish that we could get that in our contract. Yeah, like I said, I used to love like the overnight shift. When I worked for the Transportation Authority, we'd go in at 10, be done at 6. Right? Was it 10 to 6? I think it was 10 to 6. So I'd get home 6:30 in the morning. You know, I could take a nap until like 10, and then it was, you know, it kind of really worked out for me and Jay. We had younger kids at the time too, and you know, especially like overnights when you have like babies and stuff. It's tough. It was tough for Jay, but you know, she could rest during the day when I was home. I take the kids for naps. You know, you got to figure out a way to make it work. And you know, a lot of shifts out here, a lot of people out here work on flex schedules too. So their schedules change like every 2 weeks. Or they work on call, which, you know, I really wouldn't love being on call. Moo moo. But, you know, it is, you know, a lot of bartenders and servers and stuff, they're on call out here. So, you know, you just, like I said, learn to make it work. Make it work to your advantage. That's what you have to do, right? You got to learn how to make your job schedule work to your advantage. We got one of the tour buses. So these tour buses that we'll see while we're walking here, a lot of these tour buses are taking people to the Mandalay Bay convention area. He decided he couldn't make that turn. You should be paying attention in class, Roro. All right. And when you're crossing the Strip or Las Vegas Boulevard, make sure you do cross when you have the signal, because cars out here, Vegas is not a super pedestrian friendly city to begin with. So, and people, you know, a lot of pedestrians get hit by cars. A lot of people that ride bikes get hit by cars because people just aren't paying attention to them. Also, as you're crossing the street and you get to like the turning lanes, make sure you kind of slow down and check, because people will just zip up to the corner and whip that turn. That should be a fun ride there, Tony. They have a rental spot right there. There's another spot. It's on Dean Martin. I'll have to. I don't remember the name, but they rent out motorcycles too, not just Harleys. You know, they have like the Honda Cruisers and all that stuff. But you know, a lot of people do want to. You know, they do love riding the Harleys, which are fun bikes, but they're expensive to maintain. You know, all the vibration on a Harley, it jingles that thing loose. I had an old Sportster that was my step pop's, and he was older when he got it because he couldn't really hold up a larger bike. He had a really bad leg from a motorcycle accident, and he got a Sportster as he got older. And after he passed, I took the Sportster, and I had it for a couple years, and I didn't ride it that much because it was just like every time I rode it, it was like, oh, this is like, it was an older one. It was as old as I am. It was a 76. I kind of regret selling it now, man. That'd be cool having a 50-year-old Harley, but you know, it was just too hard to transport across the country. So, and it needed some work. Oh, you ride a Harleys over there? Nice. Nice. There's another spot that's a really fun drive, Tony. It's called Nelson's Landing. It's in Lake Mead. So it's kind of on the way towards the Grand Canyon. It's on the Nevada side, and before you cross over into Arizona. when you get down by Boulder City, if you take 95 south, you'll follow the signs to Nelson's Landing. There is a nice stretch of road that's like probably 20 miles long, no lights, no stop signs, some nice little hills, some nice windy curves. Pretty cool. Josh, moo, what's going on? And also on your way to Nelson's Landing, there's a gold mine tour that you can take. And when you go past it, you'll probably recognize it from some movies. It's been featured in a few movies. It's a little ghost town or so. That's really cool. It's like, I forget how much the tour is. We've done it a couple times. They take you inside an old gold mine, and they show you veins of gold. It's pretty cool. Then when you get down Nelson's Landing, you can actually do some cliff diving. My kids go there with their friends, and they got some cliffs that you can dive off of. You know, like maybe 30, 40 feet or so, down into the Colorado River, which is a cold river, by the way. The Colorado River is like around 55 degrees because it's fed by snowmelt. So it is very cold. We did a kayaking tour. I did at one point in my life. I would not ride out here. People are crazy out here, Tony. Like, I mean, there's always people cutting off motorcycles, and like I seen the other night a news report, a hit and run. Somebody turned right in front of a motorcycle. Motorcycle T-boned it. Person drove off, just left the guy laying in the road. You know, and people drive crazy out here. So, but I did a little bit when I lived in Philly. Not much. It was just more like a little recreation here and there. I kind of more enjoyed having the motorcycles and fixing them and selling them. I had a really good mechanic, and like he would show me how to do some basic stuff. It was cool. Oh, we are at 107,000. Thank you guys for subscribing. Murakami, thank you for the update. I appreciate all you guys that have subscribed this morning. Welcome into the Neon City Chatters. That is our community. Make sure we love to chat in this chat, as you can tell. So everyone drop in, say hello, and ask your questions. I love to answer questions about Vegas or just life in general. So yeah, thank you guys all so much. So yeah, it is crazy out here. Now we have a dash, you know, we have a Tesla and we have the dash cam. And sometimes when I'm driving and people do crazy shit, I just tell it to record the dash cam, and then I go back and do the download them. I'm gonna make a little montage video of the crazy Vegas drivers, man. Roro, what's going on? The Luxor. I don't know, guys. You think we should take a little walk through the Luxor for mud? I know we did it a little bit before he got on. I know Mud's gonna say yes. All right, so here's what we can do. Let's switch this around. Let's power up the gimbal a little bit. Plug the microphone back in. 1 second, guys. It's gonna be a little shaky for a second. get the microphone back on. All right, got the mic back on. Cut down some of the background noise. So yeah, so you guys that are new here, what we do is we just kind of wander the strip and just casual conversation. Sometimes it gets serious about Vegas numbers or things like that, but you know, we just like to, it's like a really cool community here where we just talk and shoot the shit, as they say, and just have fun. You know, I'm not going to pepper you with all kinds of my opinions, but when people ask what I think about things, I do tell you. I try to explain what the Vegas numbers actually mean, give you guys tips and tricks on how to save some money while you're out in Vegas. And, you know, overall, we just try to have a fun time. And when it's football season, we like to talk a little bit of trash about each other and our teams. And it's all in good fun. So we do not ever, we don't tolerate any kind of rudeness. We try to keep politics out of our streams unless it is something that is directly affecting Vegas. And then we try to keep it factual and not a political opinion. You know, we're all adults here. We should be able to have civil conversations about things without name calling and things like that. So, you know, and my mods here, they have absolutely 100% mod rights to mute somebody, block them, put them in a timeout if they are being disruptive and rude. So other than that, man, we just really love to have fun. Brooklyn, why do you say 2000? Why do you say since 2000? I mean, a lot has changed in the 26 years. And most of the changes have come, I would say, 2010 to current. Moo moo. I just missed a Ferrari. Where's a Ferrari? I wasn't even paying attention. Itchy, what's going on? You know, I think the biggest changes came around like 2008, 2010, you know, but one of the biggest changes being Aria, right? Aria was a super luxurious hotel. At the time, it was the most luxurious one on the strip, right? Or at least that's how they sold it. And then, you know, before that, I guess in what, 2005 or whatever, the early 2000s when Wynn opened up Wynn and Encore, things started to change a lot with that too. Well, Brooklyn, things started to really change, you know, and like again in the early 2000s, right? That's when the corporations and everything started to take over, right? Well, they had already taken over in the late 80s, right? That's when the corporations really took over Vegas. That's when the mob was ran out of town by the government and stuff in the 80s. So in the 90s and 2000s, you had competitive corporations here, right? We had multiple casino operators. You know, you didn't have two huge ones and some smaller ones, right? I mean, once the Mirage and MGM's kind of merged, that was like the start of it, right? So they do a pretty good job with the resources out here, right? But resources and the Strip are two different things, right? The Strip is all about the tourism and the people living here, you know, or it's two different, I think it's two different issues, right? So in the 90s, you had, let's just say a dozen, right? I'm probably off of it by a few, casino operators, right? Tropicana was independent, Harrah's, they were all independent, right? And then they started merging with other people. And that merging took away any type of competition. So once MGM owned half the Strip and Caesars owned half the Strip, you only had Venetian, Treasure Island, Circus, now Resorts World's Fontainebleau on the Strip, and they're independent. They're not, you know, so, but when it was, you know, every casino was its own entity, they were competing for the same business. They were competing for you and me, trying to give us better room rates than the other place, more free rooms, better comps, things like that. Once they all kind of merged together, they said, well, we don't really have to offer that anymore because we're not competing with each other anymore. So you went from having competitive corporations, right? Competitive casinos to, you know, consolidated, right? Casinos. And then the structure, the incentive of those people, it changed, right? It went from long-term customers to short-term quarterly earning reports, things like that, right? Things like that started to matter more than if you were going to come back, you know, because you were going to come back, but maybe next time you were going to stay at another property that they owned. You weren't going to go across the street to some other owner. People say it is. I hear that it is. I don't know. I've stayed here a lot and I've never really had anything weird happen. But, you know, so yeah, so that's the difference, right? And a lot of people confuse that. They think the mafia, they ran Vegas all the way up until, you know, all the fees and everything. But no, it wasn't. It's just that the corporations ran Vegas more like the mob ran Vegas. And then once they didn't have to anymore, they started to institute changes, and they were small changes. They weren't creating a lot of friction between the customer and, you know, the tourist and the casino. You know, so like, you know, 2008 is when resort fees were introduced. They were pretty cheap. They were, you know, maybe $5-10. You know, 2016, MGM introduced paid parking on the Strip for the first time, and people still went, you know. So Caesars resisted. Then Caesars realized that that's a brand new revenue stream, and MGM was making money off parking. So then they started doing it. So, you know what I mean? So the incentives changed, right? It went from giving a great customer service and I want your business to come back to me to I need as much money as possible so my shareholders are making the most money that they can. So that's where the big change came, you know, and that's what we're seeing today. But now we're also seeing people pushing back about that stuff. And, you know, the casinos now have to react to that, right? What is going to be, how are they going to react? What are they going to do? You know, I mean, we see Caesars now has free parking Sunday through Thursday for locals, right? So that's a good thing for locals, but that doesn't help the tourists from Arizona or Utah or California, right? So, they're still feeling the pinch. Why not free parking for everybody Sunday through Thursday? You know, Joanna's back, awesome. And then, you know, like we're seeing some room rates drop. We're seeing like more comps coming back into play. So that's one way that the casinos can get people back. Some things that they don't have any control over, right? They don't have control over how much Gordon Ramsay's going to charge you for his beef Wellington, because they rent that space to him, and they're getting a revenue stream through that rental, not through the food. The majority of the restaurants in the casinos are owned by a third party, and they rent those spaces. So the casinos look at that as, hey man, that's rental money, that's a revenue stream. It's good for our quarterly earnings. And you know, as long as people are going to Gordon Ramsay, they're gonna continue to get that revenue. So there's a lot that comes into, you know, what Vegas can fix and what Vegas can't fix. Vegas could fix that by opening up their own restaurants again in the casinos, right? And offering us some lost leaders like surf and turf for $15 or something like that, you know? Instead of charging $12 for a beer, they could charge $6. They're still making money after they sell the second or third beer. It's all profit. So we got another moo. What's going on, Nicole? So we saw last night, Ja Burrito had drinks out front, right? How much the drinks were costing. Some of their alcoholic beverages there, they had like White Claw and some beers. They were like $3-4, right? Now, probably in the beginning of the summer or last year, those same drinks were probably $8 or $12. So they're lowering prices and they're still making money, right? Now, this is where it starts to run kind of cloudy, right? Because the quarterly earnings report that the corporations have to show to their shareholders, they're going to have to answer, why are we not making the same type of revenue? And they're going to say, well, because we had to lower prices. And they're going to say, whoa, why are you lowering prices? That affects how much I make on my stocks. You know? So there's like so much, it's crazy when you start to think how much Wall Street actually controls the prices in Vegas rather than the actual casinos, because casinos have that fiduciary responsibility to make as much money for the shareholders as they possibly can. So they're turning everything into a transaction so that we, the consumer, have to pay more so that it looks good on numbers. So even if the numbers are dropping, right? So it's projected to be 39 million people that visited in 2025, down from 41 million, right? I'm just rounding those numbers. And so that's 2 million less people. That doesn't signify that Vegas is dead. It signifies that it's slowed down a little bit, right? That's about what the 6% is. I see a lot of reports on the news and other creators that never tell you what that 6% equates out to, right? And then when you start doing like, you break it down into like, well, how many average visitors per day, or what was the median, or the mean number of visitors per day, and you find the average number of visitors per day was less than 10,000 less people, right? It's like 8,000 less people per day if you average that out over the year. The Luxor back in 95, 96, 97 was the place to be, man. That's when I first came out here in 96, I think it was. And when I saw the Luxor, I was like, man, I love this place. I'm moving here. And we moved here in 97. So we lived out here in 97. I actually worked at the Boardwalk Casino. If anybody remembers the Boardwalk Casino, that was a little rundown on the strip next to Monte Carlo where Aria stands today. So
Yeah, that was my very first job in Vegas, was at the boardwalk. So getting back to some numbers, right? Like hotel occupancy, yeah, it's down around 2%, right? I think it dropped under 80% for the first time in a long time, right? Now, here's the thing about hotel occupancy that a lot of people don't tell you. Hotel occupancy is not the amount of visitors or guests that are staying in a hotel. It's the percentage of rooms, available rooms that are rented out, right? So let's just say a hotel has 1,000 rooms, 1,200 rooms, right? And they put 200 rooms out of service for maintenance. That means they have 1,000 rooms that are available for rent. If 750 of those rooms get rented, that's 75% of the room occupancy, right? So that's a 75% occupancy rate. Now, which if they had all 1,200 rooms available, that would be a little bit lower. Now, what we're also seeing on the corporate side is these people that come out for conventions, you know, John and Joe from, marketing come out to a marketing convention. They may put those two guys in the same room now, where in the past that would be two rooms for those two guys. Now they're making, some companies are making people double up in the room, so, you're getting a little slight drop in occupancy because of that. Yeah, the carnival was the boardwalk was awesome. Remember the hobo stew? I loved the hobo stew in that bread bowl. That was my favorite thing. I could eat that like every single day. And I remember they also had 25-cent margaritas and 10-cent roulette. You could go in there with like $25, get a day load, and gamble for $25 all day. And you're not finding that anywhere in Vegas. You're not finding that anywhere in the world anymore. So hotel occupancy, RevPAR, all those things that you hear people explaining, there's a lot of matrices that go into those, and a lot of that can be manipulated by the casinos, to look better or to look worse. You don't bunk with elders, right? Yeah, I tell you what, it's funny because I go sometimes to fix like an air conditioner or something in a room, and you can tell the guy, like there might be one guest in there and he's like, I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, oh, it would be great if I didn't have to be with Mark from marketing. That dude's, yeah, they make us bunk up now. So 99-cent Corona. Well, you remember the 99-cent Coronas. You don't remember what happened after the 99-cent Coronas, maybe, Tony. Yeah, the pirate ship. I miss the pirate ship, the volcano. We used to live at Twain and Swenson. It was called the Apple Apartments, and now it's called the Tides at Twain. And we lived at Twain and Swenson, and it's about a mile and a half off the strip to the east. Kind of a rough neighborhood, but that's where we lived back in '97. And I used to walk up the strip every night because Jay worked at GameWorks, which is where I think the Burlington or the Marshalls or one of them over by the M&M store is now. It was I think it was Sega GameWorks. And so I used to walk up to the strip every night and meet her. And I would walk down Twain, which would turn into Sands Ave. And that's where Wynn and Palazzo are at the strip. That's called Sands Ave. And I would walk down there, walk over, watch the pirate show, go check out the volcano, and then walk down and, maybe stop and play a little bit here and there. Because she would get off work around midnight, 2 a.m. So I kind of like the New York casino floor. It reminds me a lot of Times Square. So I kind of do like that. New York in general is a really cool spot when you it's one of my favorite spots, and they got some great breakfast specials in there too. So $1 roulette, man. I wish they still had that, man. I think downtown there's a couple spots that have like $10 table minimum on roulette, which isn't too bad, you know. And I think the minimum bet is like 25 cents or something. I mean, it has to add up to $10, but you can put 25 cents on the number. So, yeah, I mean, you know, Vegas has changed so much. I mean, I've seen it change so much. You know, there was a little spell where we didn't come to Vegas for like 6 or 7 years, I guess, right? Because of kids. And during that time frame, we came back and it was like, whoa, you know, prices have crept up and things, you know. So there's a lot that has changed, man. And you know, there's a lot that, you know, kind of happened and people just kind of accept it. And the casinos went a little bit too far, you know, with it, you know, raising resort fees to, you know, $50. That's ridiculous. You don't get anything for a resort fee. And honest, you know, well, what, you get access to a gym or the pool? You get to read a newspaper on the TV, maybe? You know what I mean? So the CEOs and the boards of directors here in Vegas really, they need to sit down and really figure out how do we get back to being a value to people. You know, that's what Vegas always was. You felt like you were getting a great value. Now, not so much, you know, unless you really search out the deals. And we try to help you guys search out deals. You know, we make shorts and we make, you know, trying to make some long form content on some deals and stuff like that we come across. We tell you during the live streams, you know, oh, this is a great spot, you know, good happy hours. You're not going to get like food reviews with us. You're not going to get like the fluff, right? If something is sponsored, like, or we're an affiliate for something, it's because it's something that, you know, we really, it really fits us, right? Aroma Retail, for example. Our house, we have, since the day we moved in, that was one of the first things we bought when we moved to Vegas was the scent machine. And, you know, we've gone there so much. And then when they found out that we did social media, they were like, hey, how would you guys like to do this, right? And we were like, yeah, sure, we'll be affiliates with you. You know, I don't know what they're going to do with Excalibur. You know, that rumor comes around almost every year that is going to be imploded. But it is a great value, and a lot of people, it's always got a pretty good occupancy rate because it is a great value hotel. You know, it's clean. Tony, I appreciate that, man. We try to, like I said, man, we try to not be like very fluffy, and, you know, we try to keep it real. You know, there's restaurants that people will ask. I'm not going to like just go and badmouth a restaurant, but people will ask, hey, have you ever tried this? And I'm like, yeah, it's really, I really wasn't that good. And I'll explain why, right? Now, one of the reasons we don't really do food that much, we'll tell you about good happy hours or stuff like that. If something tasted really good, I'll tell you it tasted really good. But I like really spicy food. I like flavorful, bold food. And a lot of places do not have flavorful, bold food, you know, because it's mass produced for people that, you know, have different palates. They got to try to have everyone. I do not remember the old La Quinta next to New York. I do remember when Oyo was the San Marino. I do remember that. I do remember the Travelodge that was where the Boulevard, right by the Polo Towers, that old Travelodge that was back there by the Hawaiian Marketplace shopping center. But I don't remember the old La Quinta. And you know what's funny is I
I really don't remember the lion exhibit in MGM, even though there's pictures of me there. Yeah, I know, Mud. We were just talking about that earlier. We got a bunch of new people on here. So a while back, we were standing here by the Statue of Liberty outside New York, New York, and we were talking about how we really don't like this AstroTurf around the base of the New York Statue of Liberty. And we came up with an idea that if they're not going to fill it back up with water, then maybe they should make it like a putt-putt miniature golf course here. New York themed, cheap hot dogs, you know, have some hot dog vendors and all that stuff out there. You know, maybe have a hole where they pretend they mug you, something like that. You know, that could be fun, right? That's what MGM should do with this. You know, if they're not gonna put the water back in, you know, then that's what they should definitely do. I know, Kevin, you know what I mean? The A Stadium is in the background, yes. Mr. Terman, yes, I understand that. And I appreciate you guys being on our live. Appreciate, you know, if you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. You know, I mean, there's nothing I can do and there's nothing Vegas can do about the reasons that people have decided not to come to Vegas. You know, those are outside of anything that Vegas can do. So, you know, hopefully when those things change, you come back to Vegas. And that's about as political as we get with that, right? So, there is a Pennsylvania accent there, southeastern PA, Philadelphia, born and raised. So yeah, so there is the A Stadium over there. You know, it's been a while since we checked it out. Why don't we go check it out? We can do that. So I actually have a pretty decent spot that we can go check it out from. I don't think I've seen anybody else really go to this spot. Yeah, I still got the East Coast accent and much of the East Coast attitude, which is a little bit different. Oh, nice. Born in Hanover. Cool, cool. Yeah, we've been out here for about 6 years. And people still pick up on the accent. I don't think that accent will ever go away. You know, East Coast really does have some strong accents. You got family in Boston. It's the team with no name stadium now, I know. A slight attitude, Joanna, slight attitude. Especially with people that push doors. I got a little bit of an attitude sometimes with them. You got family in Boston. Our neighbors are from the Boston area. They got a pretty hard accent too up in Boston. They have that R, that ba. Like it's like a ah. Everything's like a ba. You know, sometimes when I'm talking to them, I'm like, wait, hold on. Rewind. What you say? They're awesome neighbors though. The only problem I have with those neighbors are they're Patriots fans and Celtic fans. Both are an emphasis is, you know, especially the Celtics being Sixers fans. But you know, we do enjoy a nice little reminder to them that you know, our no-name second string quarterback, the greatest quarterback in history, Nick Foles, took down the mighty Patriots.
Mark, what's going on? Oh, your heritage is Sicilian. Yeah, my mom's side of the family was Sicilian. Smoke clouds coming in February from Niagara Falls. Nice. Oh, Lord, what, Alan? I think that's where I had my great head of hair from, the Sicilian side. And now that I'm older, I'm starting to get that thinning of the hair that you see like a lot of the mobsters had in movies. You know, the slicked back hair that's like thin. That's what it looks like. Patriots rule Eagles. Oh, listen, man, you guys made the playoffs for the first time in like a decade this year, and you are going to get beat by a second-string quarterback again in the AFC Championship game. Don't worry about it, Alan. You guys don't know how to play second-string quarterbacks. I'm definitely getting stuck in the doors now when Alan's out here. We're going to get you guys a good view of the stadium here. When are the Eagles playing again? You know, sometime in like late August, I think. They wanted to give the other NFL teams a chance, you know. Oh, man. Murakami, come on. Come on. Your team at least has to have made a Super Bowl before you can make fun of my team. And I don't mean your new team, the Chicago Bears. Murakami's jumping on the Chicago Bears bandwagon. They're going to be the team in the NFC North next year. Yes, we're still the current champions. And I think the 49ers thought that since they beat the Eagles in the playoffs, that meant that they were the Super Bowl champions. That's not the way it worked, because they didn't show up to the next game. They were like, hey, we won, we beat the Super Bowl champions, we're Super Bowl champs. No, you're not. Never. There we go. Let's zoom you guys a little bit here. See, this is the fun stuff that we talk about here with the football and stuff. Man, I'll tell you what, the Eagles, they shit the bed this year, man. I had such high hopes, and then I started watching them, and I was like, man, something's off with this team. And I'm kind of glad that they lost in the first round of the playoffs, so I didn't have to like torture myself and get hyped up and excited that maybe there is a possibility. You know, they just didn't have it this year. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Having fun. The football talk is one of the funnest parts of this. All right. So we're going to go get a really amazing view of the, I don't know, can we call them the A's? Because I don't think they have a name now, right? They didn't get that trademark, right? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I think it's going to be the Rams, actually. I think it's going to be the Rams. I think the Rams are going to beat the Seahawks. And I think, unfortunately, I think the Patriots are going to win against Denver. But I don't think the Patriots can contain the Rams.
But don't take my word for it, because I probably lose a lot more sports bets than I've ever won in my life. We're doing some urbex right now, right? Some urban exploring. We're going to get a bird's eye view of the new Las Vegas baseball team. Maybe that's what they should call themselves. Like, remember the Washington Commanders, formerly Redskins? They were the Washington football team, which I really liked. I really liked that name, the Washington football team. So maybe we should just make it the Las Vegas baseball team. That would be cool. Whew. All right. Only a little more. The things I do for you guys. Heading up these steps. Whew. There we go. I think that's up for debate there, Tony, because I think they got denied the trademark called the Las Vegas Athletics or something like that. So I'm not exactly 100% on that. Whew. That's a lot of steps. All right, let's put you guys in a little bit closer. There we go. We're right in there. I feel like I'm working right now. No, this is not the, it's the patent office. Thank you, Mud. Says that athletics is too generic a name for a team. They've had it for over 100 years, which I don't understand. So, no, we are at the Oyo parking garage. And like literally, that is the stadium grounds right there. So yeah, it's coming along pretty good. Mike, that could be that's a good theory there. That it's questionable if they're moving or not, right? They're doing all this work. So a baseball team or something definitely going to have to end up here. I mean, you can't have the, that's a long pan. I'm about to fall backwards. Maybe we could move the Las Vegas Aviators down here. They can share the stadium. I don't know what's happening. There was at one point, there was some like kind of, the OYO lost their liquor license for like a couple weeks or something. That was crazy. So I think it's gonna be here for now, but if I remember correctly, the renderings make it look like one of the hotels are going to be where Oyo is. I know, right? We can see the original location of the high roller right there, right next to the crane, in between the cranes there. The stadium, the renderings make it look like it's going to be great, you know? And it is a really busy work site. You see, we were here, what, 2 weeks ago? We should start making this like a weekly stop. We get a much better view of this than we do of the guitar. I mean, the guitar, it's fun when we watch them put the windows in, but there's really not much we can see. They have that fenced off, and there's really not a great spot to see it that's easily accessible. All right. Let's see what it looks like on the super wide. There we go. That's actually a pretty cool shot right there. I wonder if we can get the top of that crane. There we go. We can get all the crane, everything in. That looks pretty cool. So MGM is right across the street here. Now they're going to be taking the David Copperfield banner off pretty soon. They took the other banner. I think, was there another David Copperfield banner on that one? You can see some of the, I don't know, paint or whatever on the green got peeled off. All right. We got a nice view from up here too. The signature towers at MGM with the sphere in the background. See some of Wynn and Encore. And there goes the monorail. I'm really excited for the stadium too. I mean, why wouldn't you be excited, you know? Now we just need an NBA team, and then that'll make Jay so happy, having an NBA team in Vegas. Although we do enjoy the Aces games. We've gone to a few of them. So yeah, the Metallica, I don't think it has been officially confirmed, but all the reports are that it is pretty much ready to get signed, the residency deal for Metallica, unless I missed something in the past couple days. So yeah, that'll be exciting. I can't believe, I mean, they've been out, what, 40 years now? Jeez. Where are they opening that up, JH? So I've seen Metallica twice. I've seen them in the late 90s, and then I seen them the second time at Woodstock 99, and that was kind of a disappointment, the Woodstock 99 show, because they got whisked off stage because there was a severe thunderstorm coming in, and the stage was like really like shaking and moving from the wind. So they pulled all the stage, they pulled all the acts off stage and canceled like a couple hours of the show. So I did not go back over to see them finish their show. Really, a second sphere near Washington, D.C. That would be pretty cool. I have to look into that. There's probably a lot of good. That'll probably be another moneymaker. Woodstock 99, Limp Bizkit, yeah. That was fun. Limp Bizkit did a good set there. I really enjoyed the Roots. They were on the second stage. They're a Philly band. They were fun. And Rusted Root. I remember when Rusted Root was playing, we were playing a hacky sack with a bunch of people, and it was like 100 people playing hacky sack with like 5 different hacky sacks. It was so fun. It was crazy, you know. So in '94, I was supposed to go in '94 also, and my mom decided that she was going away with her boyfriend for the weekend, and my sister's dad, my kind of step-pop, he was out of town,
And my sisters were young, and my mom just kind of was like, yeah, well, I'm leaving, so you're going to have to watch them. So I decided to do a good big brother thing and skipped Woodstock 99 to watch my ungrateful, I'm not even going to say what they are, sisters that I no longer have any type of relationship with. So yeah, I missed out on Woodstock 99 to take care of them. But or Woodstock 94. Did I say 99? Me and Jay went to 99. Me, Jay, and her little sister went to Woodstock 99. That was really fun. I remember we had those clear platypus bags that, like, you know, hiking bags for keeping your water and stuff in, and we filled them up with what is it, rum, because rum and vodka, I think we had like a pint of each, and we were able to get them in. It was crazy, like the way people were trying to sneak stuff in. And I mean, water bottles, a bottle of water back then in Woodstock 99 was like $5-10, because I mean, you were a captive audience. So we left the morning of the last day before all the riots started. But like, you could tell it was brewing. They were small little like outbreaks of it, right? And then it boiled over. But as we were leaving is when it started to kind of boil over. And you know, the spidey senses started tingling, and we were like, we should probably leave. This is getting a little bit crazy, right? And you know, me and Jay, we were 20 years old or whatever, and 20 some years old rather, like 23, 24. And you know, her sister was only like 16 or something, 15. So we really felt responsible to get her out of there. And we were like, you know, all right, we're out. And it was really like, it was starting to boil over. You could tell the night before there were some issues, but that afternoon of the last day is just when the shit hit the fan. Now, it was fun. It was a good experience, and it was cheap. I think it was like $125 a ticket, right? I mean, a festival like that nowadays is going to be probably, you know, $500 a ticket or some crazy outrageous number. You know, I forget how much the We Were Young festival is out here, but that's not even like a camp out festival. You know, the We Were Young, like everybody rents their hotel rooms and pays outrageous prices for the show tickets. So so we are about to cross over 16,000 steps. Yeah, the good old days. The good old days. I remember there was a radio station in Philadelphia that had a one-day festival, and it was 13 bands for $13, and they were like headlining bands. It was crazy. Like, you know, back in the day, how cheap you could go to concerts and see good bands. Now, I mean, well, everything's a residency, and everything's like some like, you know, big production at the Sphere, which is great. You need shows like that too. You need those epic shows, right? But at the same time, you know, what happened to like small venues, you know? Yeah, EDC is outrageously expensive, yes. Now, you can get day passes out here pretty cheap. So this is underneath the line at MGM, right? This needs a total remodel. There's broken marble. There's no water in here. The sprinklers and the light systems have been all torn up. I mean, this is supposed to be like a showcase piece, right? And it's in just disrepair almost at this point. MGM really needs to do something about this. You know, it's kind of like an iconic view. Tony, thank you so much. Thank you for your support, man. I'm really enjoying our chat too. When you come over for your visit, man, shoot me a message or jump on a live and tell us you're here. Trying to meet up on the strip. We met up with Grammy, one of our mods. I was hoping to see her this morning. So maybe she'll jump on and we'll be able to see her this morning. There's like broken panels up top also. Yeah, so I've kind of learned my lesson. This side of the strip is not very friendly with the copyrights. Nice, April, that'll be awesome. Alan will be out in a couple of weeks. We're gonna meet up, get some coffee. He's gonna try to trap me in the doors at Bellagio. And I have, I'm gonna be making a sticker order later on today. Me and Jay are gonna come up with a new sticker design. I think she has a few saved. No, we're not gonna try. We are, Alan, we are. Definitely are. There's only been one time where I kind of like turned down like meeting people up here, and I don't know if you guys remember over on TikTok when there was that person that was harassing me and Jay, and we kind of took a break for like 2 weeks, and there were some people that were out here, and you know, oh, you guys want to meet up, and it was like, we're kind of laying low right now, because she was a little freaked out by that person, you know, and you know, I think that's one of the dangers of being on the interwebs. But take a little walk through New York, New York. Oh, I meant we definitely will make up, hook up for some coffee there, Alan. But yeah, you can try to lock me in the revolving doors. How's that? All right, I'm gonna have to hit the restroom again. This is like what we're going on, almost 4 hours of streaming here. This has been like, we haven't done a long stream like this in a long time. So we're gonna go down here, and when I get close to the restroom, I'm gonna pause it again, and we'll Tony, I try not to have any drama with anybody. I don't talk bad about other streamers. I don't. As a matter of fact, I'm friends with a lot of the streamers that are on TikTok. I don't really know too many streamers over here on YouTube, but you know, I try to always you know, talk to them, support them, you know, send people. You know, I don't really do Fremont Street streams on Fremont Street, so I tell people to go watch them guys. You know, they do Fremont Street a lot better than I could do Fremont Street. So I say, hey, and I tell people when they ask, is Vegas dead? I say, you know what? Go watch multiple live streamers. You know, everybody has something to offer. There's so much content in Vegas that, you know, we could have, and it seems like sometimes we have 1,000 people streaming, and everybody has a different view, a different perspective, a different, you know, a different take on Vegas. And it's really a great way to see Vegas.
Where can you get some Vegas Nights merch? Let's see. There's I think there's a little store in here in New York, or Park MGM, across the street at the Marshalls or any of those stores. I'm not exactly sure where the team store is. Man, these people, that's a line. There's a pretty good line over there for the Starbucks. There's other places to grab coffee here. Wow, America has a big line too. New York has some great restaurants. Oh, Grammy, I am in New York, New York. And we were just talking about you. You missed it earlier when I was at Bellagio. I'm wearing that awesome shirt that you got us. Yes, we are in New York, New York. I was just trying to... I'm going to hit the restroom real quick. So I'm going to pause you guys. And then... all right, give me 1 second. Let me go hit the restroom, and then we'll figure out what's going on. All right, I will be right back. All right, I am back. Where are you at, Grammy? I don't have you on the gimbal right yet. I know you're getting hypnotized with that. That's a pretty cool screensaver. I'm going to try to put you guys back on the gimbal real quick. Oh, hold on. Uh-oh. There we go. Whoa, spin around. Sorry, guys. There we go. At Chin Chin. Where's about is Chin Chin? Oh, here it is. All right, yeah, I am outside Chin Chin. So, you know what? I'm going to end the live stream, and I'll jump back on after we're done. I'm going to go sit down and have some coffee and stuff with Grammy. So, I like to, I'd like to have time with our people. So, so I will be back on in a little bit, guys. So I will start a new live in a little bit, and I will see you guys a little later. Thank you all for joining, because I have a nice long walk back up to wherever I'm going to take the bus home. So I will see you guys back on shortly.